Hi, Sue. Thanks so much
Hi.
for joining me today to talk about your business, Tweed Valley Cheeses. We're interested in your story, your business development story, just to inform other operators who might be wanting to establish businesses along the rail trail, particularly for those of them up the other end, the southern end in Richmond Valley and Lismore. So thank you for your time.
Okay.
So I'll start with the easy question, or maybe
Okay.
it's not so easy. How long has your business been established?
In this building, it's been established since 2017, and we did a stage development. So the cheese factory started first, then we did our retail on-farm shop, and then we did our licensed cafe.
Because you were telling me earlier you are farmers.
That's right, fifth generation dairy farmers.
Wow.
So we've been supplying Norco for over 100 years continuously with the Harmett family. We were basically in a situation where it was hard for us to grow the dairy because of the encroachment on the villages and land prices. So we thought, well, if we diversify into other businesses, it means we can keep our farm small and sustainable and still have a second income and not just be reliant on dairy.
Yeah, so then did you know how to make cheese before?
I was lucky enough to get a cheese making scholarship with Dairy Australia, so I'd been able to study down at Werribee at the National Centre for Dairy Education and do work placements, and also done various cheese making courses as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you were telling me also earlier that you established the agritourism part of your business separate to the rail trail. So do you want to tell me how that evolved?
When we were first establishing the business, the rail trail was talked about, but there was a lot of opposition to it from people that wanted the trains on the tracks, farmers worried about biosecurity issues, people whose houses backed onto the track and losing their privacy and having trespassing issues. And, so that was all bandied about. And we never really thought that it was going to grow legs and get up off the ground. And we did have concerns about biosecurity because we're, very close to an international airport, so there's foot and mouth issues. We're close to the Queensland border, so there's Queensland cattle tick issues. And we were quite concerned. And once the construction of the rail trail started and people started to see where they could walk and how they could access it and just what it would mean to them, I think our position changed quite a lot when we just saw, little kids riding their bikes for the first time, elderly people on their mobility scooters hooning about, being able to go through the villages and chat to people and, cyclists and of all ages. We quite often get like walking groups here that, they'll start in Mooloolaba and they'll walk out here and they'll have lunch and they'll ask to be picked up on their, and their bikes to be picked up, and they'll have a great day out. Yeah. It's become a very social sort of a thing. I'm seeing so many people coming here in groups, and they're doing the rail trail. And we have Hip Camp here, which is another opportunity that the rail trail has helped along, is that people can camp here in their self-contained caravans. They go for their rail trail ride and then they come back and they sit out there and watch the sun go down, and they have their little campfire and they can bring their dogs and they have their cheese platter and their glass of wine, and it's like a real, weekend away for them, and it's only sort of 45 minutes down the road. Yeah. So that's been a really great addition to our business as well.
Yeah, so you established it standalone agritourism business, and then the rail trail opportunity came along. So what is your main offering to visitors? We've just spoke about camping, but that's emerged.
I think we've created a really nice little green space here. It's shady, it's cool. We've got the blinds, you can pull down the fans. People can get out of the sun to have a lunch break or a morning or afternoon tea break. We provide country hospitality, scones with jam and cream, beautiful fresh country style sponges. We do a really reasonably priced cheese platter. They can have a wine or a beer. We do our own artisan gelato, so the kids are happy. They can sit down and have, they can go and taste test the gelato and find out which flavour they want, and then come and sit out here and have it. There's lovely native gardens, so we're getting lots of people who are doing the rail trail. They're bird watchers, and they come here and they bring their binoculars and they're looking at all the different birds feeding on the native plants. They can look out we're in a bit of a feed gap at the moment between our winter feed and our summer feed, but normally it's really lovely and green there, and the cows are grazing in the paddock. You know, sometimes we'll have a cow calving and the kids will all line up at the fence, and, you know, if there's any waste bread, the kids will feed the cows the bread. And, you know, it's just a bit of it's a country vibe. We're not trying to be, you know, sophisticated and 5-star. Yeah. It's just really good, fresh country food. We do beautiful cheese toasties that we specialise in. You know, homemade quiches, lovely fresh salads. You know, we bake all our cakes on the premises. It's just a country feel. We're not trying to be a hatted restaurant or anything like that. And that goes really well, you know, with the rail trail experience, being that sort of back to nature-based. And then we also try and support other artisan producers in the area. We're not trying to do what they're doing. We're trying to encourage their business to grow as well. So we have, you know, a local company, Tweed Real Food, that we use their rubs and we use their balsamic vinegars on our salads. You know, we stock all their products in the shop. That's just one example. We've got a local potter, and we provide a service where people can buy the pottery. We'll just keep it here. Next time they're going past in the car, they pick it up, you know. Yeah, fantastic. If they're on their bikes, they don't want to get, you know, a big parcel in their backpack that they're taking with them. Yeah. So it's just making it really convenient for them to shop and buy local artisan products and to support other businesses, because I think that is really important, that you don't try and do everything. Yeah. I think we've stayed true to our core business, so you've which is dairy. What your offering is. And not tried to be a pizza shop or a takeaway shop or hamburgers, fast food, all that. We just stick to our core menu. I like that. I really think that gives opportunities for the businesses that are fast food, and that people who want that can go there. Yeah. And come here for we're one of the few places on the trail where you can sit down and have lunch and not feel rushed. There's plenty of space. It's nice and cool, you know. It's more of a relaxed experience than racing in and getting a pie or a sausage roll. And then getting back on your bike and going again. And there's a call for that as well. But it's
and
different.
The type of visitors, are they people from the Northern Rivers? Are you seeing people from the coast? Are they international? Are you?
Not so many international visitors yet, but definitely lots of Queensland visitors, Brisbane, Gold Coast, even on the tablelands like Toowoomba. Those sort of people quite often will stay overnight. They'll just bring a little camper trailer or a caravan down. You know, sometimes it's Dad and the boys. Mum doesn't want to go on the rail trail, so Dad will bring the kids down. And disabled people, you know, like they just want to do a little section of the rail trail and they come here. We've got, you know, I think providing disabled toilets and disabled access is a big plus for them, because I think that's a good point. And council was saying recently they're going to try and bring when they did the opening, they had rickshaws, so elderly people couldn't. We've just seen them up. They've been up doing a trial up near the station. So we've just seen them. It's fantastic, great idea, isn't it? Because the oldies just loved it. You know, being able to get out and about and sort of do the trail and see everyone on the trail, and I think that's where it's. If it's all inclusive, I think it's wonderful. So that's something I encourage the other councils to get on board with. So that it's not just the bike riders who can have a go on it, but everyone can. Really good points. So getting on to when you found out about the rail trail opportunity was going to be constructed and it's just over there, how did you alter your planning or your business planning around that? What did you need to do to connect to the rail trail? Because it's not, for people watching, it's not just there. It's how far away is it? It's basically where those trees are over there. It's not far away, but it's hard to access it in a direct line. So the construction guys were having a lot of trouble with people didn't want them accessing their farm because of biosecurity reasons and leaving gates open, and you know they weren't really. A lot of farmers felt it was very invasive and they were going to have scores of people walking through the middle of the farm, which basically is what it is. Whereas for us, we've always been a farm that's situated right smack bang in the village of Urringbar. So we've always had hundreds of neighbours and people walking through the farm. And so we were a bit more used to that sort of thing happening. And we could see that the rail trail had already started. The funding was received. They'd started building it. There was no way it was going to be stopped. So I think, you know, you're banging your head up against the wall trying to fight against something like that. And for us, it is a benefit for us. So we worked in with the rail trail guys who were building it. We gave them access wherever we could so that it was easy for them. We allowed them to store a lot of their machinery on the farm.
Right.
So it meant they didn't have to try and find a safe place to leave bulldozers and
So
all
you
sorts of
formed that
things.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they needed access, so they put in a road for us. And that meant that when they'd finished, people could access that road to access here.
Yeah. So,
And I think if you can have a working relationship like that, it probably saves them thousands of hours not having to go backwards and forwards and find somewhere to store stuff. And it was really just a small sort of effort on our part.
yeah.
And it meant Rob had to do a bit of fencing and things like that. But, you know, it worked out for everyone in the long run. And I could see that it was going to be, the rail trail is a huge benefit for the whole area and for the community. And it also meant that, like, council put in access at Burringbar and access at Mobile, but there's a large subdivision here, and those people would have had to have walked to Burringbar or Mobile to get onto the rail trail.
So
So
this little
by having
trail,
that little road there that the community can use as well, has meant that it's accessible for everybody, because a lot of elderly people couldn't use the footpath. It's too steep and it, you know, it's slippery at times in the wet, and it's, you know, it's too hard, and it's quite a long way to, by the time they got to Burringbar, they would have done their walk.
Yes.
And they would be ready for someone to pick them up and take them home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
whereas the rail trail's relatively flat. So that is another really good point, because it is
Everyone
accessible
can
for
do
little
it.
kids and oldies and disabled to go on it. Yeah, so
And do you find people park here, like, and then go across to the rail trail, or?
we've found
You
people
don't-
to be really, really good, and parking is an issue that I think council hasn't addressed, because I think Mobile and Burringbar, a lot of locals are saying, I can't get to the post office, I can't get to the local store, you know, I can't pick up my mail anymore because there's so much congestion there. And I
So
think
it's changed.
that's something that councils really need to look at, is the logistics of where these rail trail users are going to park.
And the access. Yeah.
Because you've got New South Wales Services right opposite the railway in Murwillumbah, and trying to get a park to go there. I went in there one day and it was like, you know, 3/4 of an hour to get a park, and you had to walk a mile to get there.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is really, for businesses here, it must be really difficult. And I think I'm getting feedback, like, people come here who aren't using the rail trail, they're just visitors.
Yes.
And they say, where else can we go? And we've got this fantastic old wares shop in Burringbar. And I go and have a look up there. It's a trip down memory lane. And they come back and say, oh, we couldn't get a park.
Right.
So I think parking in these little regional villages where there's not a lot of parking is something that council needs to address.
Going on. So, since the rail trail opened here, what's been the main benefits to your business?
Look, we're definitely getting more visitors coming in, and we're able to tell our story about how we are actual farmers, and we're diversifying into, you know, cheese and yogurt and gelato production, and telling our farm story and our farm history, and like people having a real experience, like they're actually having genuine farmhouse cheese. There's not many genuine farmhouse cheese makers in Australia. That's where the milk is produced from the one herd and produced on farm and sold on farm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so just educating people about buying local food and shopping local, and how much it means to local producers and farmers is a big thing. And, you know, we've had people here that live in the city, and the kids have never patted a dog. You know, and all of a sudden Rob will come in with the farm dogs, and they'll go, oh, can we pat it? You know, like we never patted the dog. And it's hard to believe that people grow up in the city and they never leave the city, you know. So it's just an opportunity for a bit of, you know, for a nice open space, and to draw people in that we can tell our story to.
And if you don't mind me asking, and feel free not to answer, have you had an increase in profits or economic benefits?
Definitely
since the rail
an
trail?
increase in sales.
In sales.
With, especially our gelato. Our gelato is our main
Fantastic.
seller for people on the rail trail. They'll come and just, come over and they'll sit out here under the trees and, they'll get the kids a gelato and they might have, a cheese platter and a glass of wine. But it's mainly gelato.
Yeah.
And I guess that's one thing that really worries me, in that if areas of the rail trail are leased out for businesses, or, you can have mobile businesses on the trail, or that council takes into consideration existing businesses who are council approved and on the trail. Because if, say for instance, if another gelato business was to start up somewhere really close to here, with just being like a mobile van or something like that, that would greatly affect our business.
Yeah.
And so that is a worry with it.
And so that's the message around licensing agreements associated with the trail, to look at who's doing what and who's already established and approved. Yeah.
And I just think that businesses that are thinking of operating on the trail, just be mindful of if there's businesses already doing what you're going to do. Like, work as a community and work as a regional whole, so that you're sort of, you're promoting each other rather than working against each other. Because if you want people to have an enjoyable experience, you can't be saying, oh, don't go to them, they're terrible. Because they're doing the same thing that you are.
And ultimately, it's going to be a 132-kilometre experience.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing, even today, interviewing businesses, all the Tweed businesses that we've asked have said, yes, we want to help, because they see cooperation is important and the visitor experience is really important. So it's really good you raised that. Yeah. That's really important.
Yeah, so I just think if we all work together, and it goes back to years ago, I did a work experience at Millua Cheese, and I was just amazed at Millua as a little town, that every shop you went into, they said, have you been here? And you go into the next shop and they go, have you been here? Yeah. So you just felt like you'd had this tourist experience, and it was just this tiny little town, but everyone was so well at promoting the other businesses. And that
warm, as you said before, country
and
hospitality.
It made you feel like everybody liked each other, and, you were all working together. And I just think if businesses on the rail trail don't get hammered by, get rich quick businesses that come in and go, oh, it's working for them, I'll do the same thing and take a share of their profits. And then it creates animosity and a bad feeling. So I just hope that councils and the rail trail can monitor that and try and work in so that everybody gets a little slice of the pie.
And that's what we're after. And that's what sort of my role is here, is we want people to pay. We want money to come into our economies, rather than bring your bike up and hop on the rail trail, bring your own cheese from Woolworths. We want people spending in our local villages and for jobs. So how many staff do you employ?
It varies depending on, and that's one thing with the rail trail. You can have a beautiful day that's perfect for riding a bike, and you will just be inundated with people, and then the next day it can be rainy and cold or 40 degrees, and you'll get no one. So staffing is one of those things that we're just trying to work out the logistics of having people on call and having people that will give you 3 hours, but if we're not busy, do you want to take the option of leaving early? And so that has been quite hard to manage, and you'll find sometimes you'll get one business will get inundated and say, oh, we're not doing any more meals, and everyone goes, where else can we go? And they all go to the next place, so you get this unexpected influx of people. So that is the logistics of trying to manage a business where you don't have a definite amount of people that turn up every day.
And next year you'll know, with the seasonal changes or the weather conditions, what happens.
Yes, that's right. So it's a bit of a learning curve at the moment, but we're getting better at
so
judging.
It sounds like you've been leveraging opportunities around the rail trail. You started with cheese. You're now doing gelato.
Yep.
You've got the caravan camping thing. Is there anything else that you see that you could
Definitely other local artisan products.
Yeah.
And we've got a local potter here, and she's been organising little pottery market days here, which have been really popular.
Fantastic.
And so we got a lot of people off the rail trail when the pottery market was on. They came over and had a look. And
that's interesting because we have one up in Lismore.
Yes.
A potter who's got a property on the rail trail. Same thing. She's looking at that opportunity. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Any other challenges?
I guess as a farm, like, for the last 20 years, we've been able to walk our cattle across the track.
Yeah.
But now, because of biosecurity issues, we have to walk our cattle down to an underpass. It's a very narrow underpass, so we can't always get machinery there. So then we've got to, block the rail trail and take machinery across if we have to. That is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
We've had a few gates left over when you've got 50 or 60 head of cattle walking the rail trail. That's interesting because it just keeps going
experience.
And they just follow the path because they're used to following a path until they come to a shut gate.
Yeah.
So that's been a bit of a challenge, but that's only happened a couple of times. So, touch wood, that will improve with signage. Like we've got council has put signage on our gates and things for us, which has been good.
Yeah. And you said before that signage, a coordinated approach to signage when the Connect program comes on.
Yeah, I think that will be good.
Really good.
Like at the moment, there's a lot of ad hoc signs, signs in trees, signs people with graffiti, bits of cardboard with stuff written on them, and I think it's not a good look for the rail trail. I think it would be really good if we have that designated signage so that you're not driving along seeing a sign every 30 seconds,
So that consistent
And I think council
approach.
has said they're going to do a map with, the Connect members on the map, which I think will also help reduce the amount of signage
So
that's needed.
you've joined Connect?
We haven't
program.
yet, but I was talking to Tiffany the other day, so we are going to join.
Okay. And what do you see the benefits of Connect?
Just that we can put signage on the rail trail, so where people exit the trail to come to our business, we'll be able to have signage there, which will be nice and clear, and also the fact that it'll be part of that collaborative group. So if they are doing something special on the rail trail, we'll be part of it. Also being able to collaborate with other people on the trail so that if there is a special day on or something like that, we can all sort of be part of it.
Yeah.
And maybe, building partnerships with other people on the trail to utilise our product.
I like how you keep talking about partnerships and cooperation. It's what we've been talking about around the rail trail since I started getting involved from a business perspective, is how important cooperation is. So I haven't even prompted you, have I, Sue?
No, I think we're very community minded, and I just think it's wonderful to live in a small community, but you have to be very careful that you don't step on toes.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you. All right. So overall, what's your overall opinion of the rail trail as a visitor experience?
Well, I don't hear a bad word about it. Everyone that comes here seems to have enjoyed it. They've had a great time. They rave about how great it was to get the kids off their phones and get them on a bike and go for a ride along the rail trail. It's great for our elderly, for our disabled, for, young people. You get groups of people coming into the area and they go, oh, this is fantastic. We've never been here before. We didn't even know this little village existed, or that you could camp here, or that, and I just think it's it's just a safe space for people, and I think it's only going to get busier as more and more people find out about it, and especially as it goes further down the track. Yeah, because you're getting cyclists who want to do their 100k rides, those crazy people, and I just think if it can sort of flow through and go the whole distance,
imagine people coming from a southerly direction as well. From Byronshire up to here and experiencing cheese, you'll get a whole different batch of visitors once that comes online.
There was someone here the other day, I forget where they were from, Wollongong or somewhere like that, and they'd just come up specifically to do the rail trail. And you're getting the people who've done the Brisbane rail trail. Yeah. They're going, oh, we've done Brisbane, now we'll do this one.
Yeah, it's on the list.
And I was amazed at how many people just do rail trails, and they just, that's their holidays. Every holiday, so they do a different rail trail. And you think, oh, well, that's great. So overall, I think it's 100% tick. People are loving it, and I just think it's all inclusive, and it's just going to grow.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So,
And well, thank you for your time. Like
Okay.
you've got so much passion and enthusiasm. We could have probably kept talking.
I know.
We could have kept
Peter
talking.
did say that I would be a better talker.
Yeah, but it's a common theme that I'm seeing with the businesses. That the rail trail experience is great, but it's the businesses enhancing that experience and providing that extra thing and your passion. And I love the country hospitality being your brand. You know, you're owning that space. So thank you, Sue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.